Welcome to episode 25 of Julian's Lightroom. On this episode, I'm really excited to welcome a good friend and colleague of mine, Coach Stephen Howe. Mr. Stephen has been a day one primal movement coach with me, going through the first wave of certifications. And so we got to share a lot of different experiences, challenges, wins, victories, and we got to rely on each other for support when we're trying to carve our own path through this movement coaching experience. Stephen is someone who has an amazing lust for life. He's always good for a laugh, and he has an enthusiasm that just cannot be stopped. And it's evident if you know him, if you meet him, if you work with him. He has a lot of different interests, and he's finding different modalities to add on to his plate of tools that he can use to serve the public. So in this episode, I wanted to dive deep into that with him, get to know what he's working on, what he's loving, and hear a little bit about his story. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Stephen. I love it, dude. Just tell me a little bit about where you're at today, what you've been up to, what kind of state am I finding Stephen in right now?
Yeah, dude. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Steven. I live in Santa Cruz, California,
Yeah.
but I grew up in San Jose, which is like on the other side of this hill that separates the Bay Area from Santa Cruz and the beach.
Okay.
And
So you're repping
I
Bay Area.
I grew up in the Bay Area in San Jose. Um,
Awesome.
it's a short drive over a hill,
Yeah.
very common road known as 17, but the lifestyle difference, the just everything, it's crazy how much can change over a hill.
Mm. Oh,
And
dive a little bit into that. What
dude,
changes
yes, I jumped over
from
this
there?
hill in 2020 to move in with now my current wife, and
Yeah.
my life is so cool, dude. I get to wake up in the morning. My dog's right behind me. This is my husky Luna.
Go ahead,
She
Luna.
she drives my mornings, getting
Yeah.
out of bed, going to the beach with her. It's such an awesome excuse to be like, I got to go for a walk, and I'm
Mm.
gonna go indulge my mind with the sound of the waves, the sound of nature.
Mm.
I grew up being like a music fiend. Like anywhere
Mm.
and everywhere you find me in life, I'm listening to music. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like kind of aware. It's like, hey, dude, everything that you're feeding your mind is what's gonna drive your focus and your intention. So like, let's feed these different avenues. And I've been blessed to be able to do that with my new location here in Santa Cruz, and I have the
Mm.
environment around me to support it. So I just like have all these like awesome resources at my disposal that I've been utilizing more than ever. So my day
And that much
started.
changes over the hill. Like over the hill, you're
Oh,
like,
it's
I'm in
crazy.
the environment I need to be feeling good.
Yeah, and it's a little bit. It's so much more slow paced and relaxed over the hill in San Jose. I wake up, my morning. There's construction down the street. There's all these. There's just cars and traffic, and you just hear the busyness of life happening around
Mm.
you, and you wake up into that, and it's like, let's tune it out with my own music and like
Mm.
go 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 go. And
Yeah.
like Santa Cruz, like I can kind of wake up and I can go after what's in front of me without a ton of distractions. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
that's what I did with my morning, man. I woke up, I tended to feeding Luna and my cats, and then got out to the beach for a little bit, did a little long walk, got some
Yeah.
breakfast, got some coffee,
That's
came
what's
back
up.
home, couple chores. Super excited to do this podcast with you. So yeah,
Super
man,
dope.
just
Super
a
dope.
just a lazy day in the life of Steven. This is my
Love it,
weekend.
dude. This is your
Sunday's my
weekend day.
weekend, so today's
Just
like a day off for
Saturday.
me. Yeah,
Saturday, you're in that massage therapy hustle.
yeah. I am currently a massage therapist in training.
Yeah.
I'm doing a core program right now, which takes a year. It involves learning Eastern modalities, Western modalities. They split that up into two segments. So 6 months of Eastern work and 6 months of Western work. I completed my Eastern work a couple weeks ago. I'm about a month
Nice.
into the Western
Nice.
world, which is Swedish massage, deep tissue, and sports
Okay.
massage. Some
Are
of the
you working
spa work.
acupuncture? Is that in the eastern spot? Are you putting the needles on?
Acupressure is the
Acupressure.
Eastern massage modality, which
Okay.
does follow traditional Chinese medicine and looks at the meridians of the body. So it's very, very similar to what you would do with acupuncture,
Mm.
except for acupressure, we're using our hands instead of
Okay.
poking you with a needle. But
That seems a little bit more my vibe, if I'm being honest.
yeah, dude, I
I don't know. I don't know
I
about the
went into
needles
the
yet.
Eastern segment not knowing what to expect, not really knowing what these different massage modalities were. I mean, I knew Thai
Mm.
and I've heard of Thai, but everything else that was involved, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm getting into. And I actually
Yeah.
ended up loving it. I think learning traditional Chinese medicine, there was a lot that came up that is that I feel like the Western world is just now starting to embark on. And it's like, dude, this is information we've
Mm.
had for thousands of years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it's
But we
super
didn't
cool.
prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to get its science back now.
We gotta
Um,
go get it. Yeah.
but yeah, dude, that's all Saturday. I'm in massage
Mm-hmm.
school. I do
Mm-hmm.
it on evenings during the weekdays too, but that leaves my weekdays available for other work
Yeah.
activities.
Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
do outside of movement coaching. Not only am I a massage therapist in training, but I have that internship right now to collect my hours so I can get my license in a couple
Nice.
months. So I work
Nice.
at Santa Cruz Core and Rehab. I do an
Okay.
internship there for massage, and I also coach
Oh.
golf.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Let me. So you got your schooling, your massage therapy schooling. You've
Hmm.
also got your internship, which is separate from that. That's like working hours,
Hmm.
actually doing the work.
Hmm.
Then you are movement coaching, and
Hmm.
then you're golf coaching.
Hmm.
Bro, you got the setup. You're Gemini, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Shit, bro. We always got all kinds of shit going on.
Never satisfied, but
Never
yet somehow
satisfied,
always
dog.
satisfied. No.
Yeah. I got my soccer team. I got my movement coaching. I got my job. I got my martial arts. I
Yeah,
gotta fill more shit in there.
yeah.
We need variety. That's it.
It keeps me moving though, dude. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. As you know, I love
Mm.
to play golf, and the job
Yeah.
coaching kids at my local course gives me free golf. So
Yeah.
that's an opportunity I couldn't pass on.
Big.
Big.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
What you love golf.
I do.
What does it do for you? Like what does it make you feel? Is it feelings associated with it?
Oh my
Is that a
gosh,
big question?
it's so emotional.
For
I
real?
like
Yeah.
This is funny for anyone who golfs and is watching this. Hear me say this is probably going to cause a big roar of laughter, but
Oh, let's
a
go.
lot of the way I live my life and judge on my life on like how well I'm doing is based
Yeah.
off how well I'm golfing.
Damn, is it really like that?
If my golf game's struggling, I'm
Yeah.
struggling, dude.
Which one is the cause and which one's the effect though? Or
It's
is it
it's both.
symbiotic?
It's both. It's
Is it
symbiotic
symbiotic?
for sure. It's
It's
hilarious.
like a mirror. That's
It
amazing.
started. I come from a hockey background. You can actually see my hockey bag in the background there. I played
Yeah.
college hockey for San Jose State, just a club team.
Hmm.
But when I got right before hockey, I'd picked up golf a little bit, but
Mm.
hockey was always my main thing. When I stopped playing college golf or college hockey, that's when I kind of started taking golf more serious, and
Yeah.
that's that's when. So the last 5 years of my life have been very, very focused on golf. Whereas the other 5 years before that, it was just kind of, just a
Yeah.
fun thing to do.
Yeah. I love that about you, Stephen. It's so obvious and apparent that you are dedicating your time and your focus to things that you just love, things that you just enjoy.
Uh-huh.
And movement coaching, massage therapy, golfing, and that's like, and then obviously you have your family, you got your house, you got your dog, your wife, a bunch of other things I'm also not aware of, but um man, like I want to frame a question around it, but just like mm, what motivates you to be moving so dedicated in the direction of the things that you love? Because I don't always see that with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen by accident, right? I didn't
For
just like
sure.
the things that I love didn't fall into my lap, so
Yeah.
to say. I could say that it's derived from the way my dad raised me. My dad used
Mm,
to drop me off at school every morning, and he would say, "Be a leader, not a follower, and go get straight
mm,
A's." And then he'd go,
hmm.
"Woohoo!" and try to embarrass me as I got out of the car. And I'm talking
Did it
like
work?
middle
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Um, at the time, no, or maybe it
Yeah.
did. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, like I try to listen to my gut instinct and follow my ambitions and lead
Mm,
by example.
hmm.
And those principles just put me where I'm at. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
before. before I had this, really cool life with all these things that I love in front of me,
Yeah.
I had gone to college, got a communication studies degree, didn't know what to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
wanted the big boy job.
Yeah.
So
Like
I,
corporate kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
got into a travel nurse agency and started recruiting for them. I was
Dope.
working, 12-hour days behind a computer Monday through Friday. My
Mm-hmm.
weekends were just spent just dwelling over what was going to happen on Monday and the
Yeah. Like
fire that
dreading
had
it.
happened. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just like I wasn't giving myself the time to do the things I loved. I
Yeah.
started losing passion for
Mm-hmm.
just life in general. I wasn't, a great partner to my wife, and it was just, work, 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 work. So I got to a
Mm-hmm.
point where it's like, hey, dude, like, um, what are we gonna do
Mm.
to have this full life ahead of you be
Yeah.
enjoyable?
Yeah.
And um, being a people pleaser and helping people has always kind of been a thing I gravitate towards. So it's like, what can I do to help others? And while
Yeah.
I'm doing this recruiting process, I'm on this movement journey.
Mm-hmm.
Bam's coaching me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
asking him about, what's it look like getting certified as a coach?
Mm.
How can I start? Like Bam motivated me, like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
I see this guy doing a thing that he loves to do and
Yeah.
making it a career in and of
Same.
itself. And it's just like, hey, how can I start to get on this path? And so
Mm-hmm.
in 2022, um, I left that recruiting job and I embarked on doing the things that I love and creating a life that's going to work for me. And here I am a couple
All
years
in.
later and it's all laid out in front of me. And I'm like, how did this
How did I get
happen?
here?
But yeah,
Dude,
took a
so
big
cool.
leap of faith. Yeah.
What if I rewind a little bit, like you started working with BAM while you were working in this corporate position.
Yeah.
What prompted that? Was it, and how'd you find BAM? How'd you find the primal movement?
Dude, being a college athlete,
Mm.
to take it back even further, my dad's a Marine. So when he raised me,
Yeah.
be a leader, not a follower. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like, we're talking kind of military, like get after it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He taught me how to work out when I was like 14, and I'm talking like
Mm.
Olympic weightlifting. So I did
Yeah.
weightlifting and exercise and running. Like I was just always being very, very active my whole life. And getting out of college, I was a little late out of college, like 28 years old,
Mm.
and my body felt broken, dude. And I
Mm-hmm.
tried to run, and I'm like, just constant aches and pains. And I'm like, this can't be. I'm like supposed to be in my prime.
Yeah.
Like I do all of this so much time and dedication towards my health, and I'm just not feeling it. And
Yeah.
started like going around like YouTube and where's the proper form, how to run. So it's like I come from a sports background. I know that there's proper form to swing a bat, to do,
Mm-hmm.
there's an athletic way to do certain things. There's better form. There's better ways to do it. So where's the running thing? Like why is
Mm-hmm.
my running so poor? Yeah, I've ice skated for the last 10 years. Like that's
Yeah.
probably got something to do with it.
Yeah.
Someone show me how to run right. And I'm looking everywhere and it's heel strike, don't heel strike, this
Mm-hmm.
like foot underneath your hips. Like, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, like some of this stuff, it's just like, it's not adding up. Where do I go? Like, I'm just not finding what I'm looking for. And then my wife happened to have a friend who at the time was doing Goda. She's like, hey, you should check
Mm-hmm.
out what this girl's doing.
Yeah.
Supposed to be gate focused and da da da. You might want to check
Yeah.
this out. And
Yeah.
my wife did more research than I did and ended up booking a session with Bam and
Dude,
was
how
like, hey,
dope.
we're going to check this guy out and see what he has to say and see what he has to offer. And
Yeah.
once I did a consultation with Bam, I was like, boom, that's my guy.
Bought
I
in.
hear it, I see it, I'm bought in. This is the
Yeah.
stuff that I feel like I've been looking for. It's
Mm-hmm.
like centered on here's the form of how it's supposed to be done. Now, how do we get there? And it's like the first
Mm.
time I had ever really found some real tangible, um, like evidence and
Mm.
philosophy towards the way humans should move.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
that was like mind blowing to me.
So dope. I love that. I think that just speaks to like a really cool thing about the relationship you have with your wife, in that there's this symbiotic flow, and that through being with her, she saw this or heard about this and was able to translate it to you, thus opening up a door that who knows when or if you may have seen or found that.
Totally.
And that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's super cool to hear that. So was it running in particular that was bothersome for you, like painful? uncomfortable?
Dude, I got to a
Why'd you
point.
focus on gait? Yeah.
Dude, I got to a point where everything I did was uncomfortable. I got to a
Damn,
point
yeah.
where I was so used to the grind of being in a gym and feeling a pump and breaking down your muscles. Like my mind
Mm-hmm.
was like so stuck in this like idea that like you have to break yourself to be better and stronger. And I
Mm-hmm.
had just woven myself into a place where I was just broken. And it
Yeah.
was literally, I couldn't work out without my neck and my shoulders being super tense and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't run without like knee pain or low back pain.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where it's like, hey, I want to golf, but my
Yeah.
body hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to play hockey anymore. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to do any weightlifting. My golfing was like, kind of want
Mm-hmm.
to do it, kind of don't because my knee hurts. And it's like
Yeah.
my lead leg that I put weight on, and I know I'm twisting on this thing, and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
really want to really hurt myself. So I'm just like
Yeah.
in this position, like COVID 2020, 2021 coming out of COVID time. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like scared to move. I'm scared to do anything. And
Damn.
now all of a sudden I'm getting gravitated into this job that just
Mm.
engulfs my entire life, 12 hours a day. And I'm like, I
All
was
these things you
miserable,
love,
dude.
like all these things you
It,
love being like taken off the table because your
yeah.
body's like, I can't go there.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
was like, there's got to be a way out. I'm like,
Mm.
there's got to be light at the end of this tunnel somewhere. But I was like, I need help. I needed
Mm.
help.
What were some of the
And
first like big green lights or like big wins through the practice? Do you remember?
oh, decompression, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
like I didn't realize that I could do work for my body without doing work. And
Dude,
I was like, so, I
it's the
was
hack.
so ingrained into like,
Yeah.
dude, I was going through my WhatsApp channel with Bam from our first sessions together, and I was
Yeah.
sending him videos of me doing basic like air chairs and stuff.
Hmm.
I can't wait to show you this in Oregon, dude. It's gonna be so funny.
Oh,
We're gonna laugh so
I
hard together.
love it. The
I'm on the
form.
wall and I'm like, "Ah," like
Whole body
you
flex.
could just see the grit and like
Yeah.
it's like, hey, Steven, dude, I think your body's tight enough, man. Like, let's take some tension out of the equation, my guy.
Yeah.
And like, you need to lay down, dude. You need to
Wow.
take a seat. You need to learn how to breathe. You
Yeah.
need to learn how
Yeah.
to like freaking
I love
relax, dude.
this. Yeah.
And oh, it's so funny, dude.
Dude, that's
Decom
crazy. It must have been so foreign. Did it feel so foreign to just let all that go?
oh, super foreign. I sometimes like joke about it to be like, I was in such a dark place. I had to pay
Mm.
someone to teach me how to lay down. Like,
That's
dude,
such a wild way to put it, but it's
like,
so
yo,
true.
dude, you need to lay on the floor and
Yeah.
fucking stay there.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Don't do anything else.
Yeah. And
Dude,
I'm like,
how,
really?
was that tough? Like I know people who like their belief is like I can't not do something. I
I've
just can't.
heard I've heard stories of BAM talk about that. I've heard other coaches say like, "Hey, I have clients that, that's not for them. It's not what they want to
Hmm.
do."
Hmm.
I think I was at such a place of like I had given in.
Whatever
I
it
was
takes.
fully given in, and I was like, "Bam, here are the reins. Tell me what to do." And
Hmm.
when he told me to lay down, I was like, "You got it, dude. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And I laid down and I did the breathing exercises, and I came out of that and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that as much as possible." Like
Yeah.
that felt great. That's kind of the
Yeah.
release I've been looking for, and I didn't realize it came with doing less work and not more work. And
It's
so
magical.
to get better at it, to do the practice and to change my mindset was definitely difficult. But the initial of like, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is pretty
Mm-hmm.
much what we're prescribing for you,
Mm-hmm.
that to me was like an easy acceptance. I was like, yeah,
So
dude, I think you're
awesome.
right.
And
I
that
think you're
that's
right.
that's all it takes sometimes. It's like one big green light and you go, wow, there's something so simple that was just not in our awareness. And then
Yeah.
all it takes is someone to share that with us.
Yeah.
Man, and how, like, I think you had mentioned something about how it intertwines with the rest of your life. And so I'll ask, like, how has incorporating regular decompression influenced other aspects of your life? Is there anything that comes to mind right away?
Honestly, right away that it goes to is like I did grow up in that go go go
Mm,
type of lifestyle, and that's the way my brain is almost wired. Is like go go
mm,
go go go. And when I can remember, like when now that I know how to listen, when my body's like, "Hey, dude, we're kind of tired. Let's take
mm,
a breather."
mm,
That in and of itself just like has woven in its way into the way I react. I have responses to things. It's like maybe I don't need to react, or
mm.
I'm experiencing a certain emotion off of an event or something that someone has said to me or whatever it may be. And it's like, let's decompress with this before we
Mm.
respond.
I
And
love that.
that's where my brain immediately goes to. It's like
Mhm,
calming the body down can help calm the mind down, and it can help you.
mm.
Not only does it prepare your body for better movement, but now you're preparing your brain for, you know, um, maybe not problems, but yeah,
Yeah,
whatever it
any
is that
kind of
comes
like
at you.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I love the two words you're using, like respond and react, and how like uh react can be kind of like a instinctual, like reflexive, kind of like a flinching feeling.
Mhm.
But then respond kind of has this feeling to it where it's more of like a choice, it sounds like. It's like we receive whatever that situation is, and it might be challenging. If we react, we might do something that maybe wasn't our best choice, but then if we're calm and relaxed, and maybe we can feel that emotion, then we can choose how we respond to it. And that's a super empowering feeling, I find. And I
Mhm.
totally agree with you. I get the exact same thing from decompression. Just slows everything down. Not everything has to happen like right away.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the martial arts drill that BAM has us do. We kind of stand there
Yes.
and slow punch one another.
And
You
just
can either
receive.
react or respond.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I was thinking of that same thing too.
Yeah.
And it integrates so much into every other part of our life, whether that's, a conflict, a communication, um, something happens at work or whatever it is. It's just like we can choose how we want to respond as opposed to reacting to the
Hmm.
situation, adding even more chaotic energy. So decompression, that was like the big major green light, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
so awesome. So while you were in the recode process with BAM, you guys were already in talks about certification.
I think I did maybe a little over 6 months with BAM.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a guy, Josh, at the time, join in. And so I worked with BAM and Josh. And
Okay.
Josh kind of took over the reins after a couple months, like I said. So um, my first few months with BAM was just strictly uh, like he was my coach. And then
Yeah.
when I came back to BAM and spoke with him again, like I want to say a year after I had met him,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it was more of, hey, I believe in the work, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready to,
Mm-hmm.
take on a coaching role. And,
Yeah.
not only continue this practice for myself and my own well being, but I
Yeah.
need to share this with others because, I mean, in that time, I couldn't shut up about it.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yep.
who knew me knew that I was
Uh-huh.
doing this and that
Uh-huh.
I was just so ecstatic about it and needed and wanted to share it with everyone. And I'm like, all right, well, let's get the tools in the toolbox so I can actually,
Mm-hmm.
go about
Mm-hmm.
this diligently.
So was the availability of a primal movement certification, like, did that already get shared, or were you inquiring about that before you knew about it?
I inquired about it, just like
Oh
I was like
shit.
kind of looking to be like, yo, Bam, just teach me your ways, dude.
You
And
poked the
then
bear, I think,
I
dude.
kind of did, and then he
Yeah.
came back. I think it took a minute for him to get back to me about that. He was like,
Mm.
"Yes." He's like, "You're on my queue. Give me a moment." And some
Mhm.
moments passed, and
Mhm.
then he reached out and he goes, "Boom,
Mhm.
January 2023 certificate. You know,
Dude,
this is your
that's so
opportunity if you're
dope.
still ready." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Dude, this is like the perfect timing." Because at that point, I was like so burnt out with the recruiting thing, and was like, I need an
Mm.
outlet. I'm ready to
Yeah.
change.
Lead
Yeah.
from the front, dog. Lead from the
Yeah.
front. You're already asking to coach this stuff before you knew a certification was coming. And who knows, like Bam probably heard that from a few other people, and maybe he heard it from you as well. And then he was just like, okay, something's going on here where
Hmm.
people need some kind of process, some
Yeah. I did
sort
the
of like
NASM
pedagogy.
certification before that, and I was like, this isn't it. This isn't
What's
what I
that?
want.
Tell me about NASM.
National Association of Sports Medicine.
Oh, yeah.
It's like well, because you're in Canada, right? So I don't they
Yes.
probably have a different program there, but
We probably
in
do.
Amer
I don't know what it would be.
it could be NASM, but I want to
Mm.
say NASM is like the most utilized and credited certificate to get in order to practice as a personal trainer. So if you
Okay.
want to go work at the
Okay.
gym as a personal
Yeah.
trainer, you
Yeah,
get a
NASM.
NASM certificate.
Is that kind of like a smart serve kind of thing going on?
A little bit like they do
That's pretty
corrective exercise.
straightforward.
They have like 6 or 7 different options in their cert
Okay.
list. So you can be, I think they even do nutrition.
Okay. So is it
So
like a whole
yeah,
schooling process?
it's just kind of, it's online, you,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
study and you don't get a teacher. They give you a
Gotcha.
textbook, you get to study, you pass tests, and then boom,
Okay.
you're a certified personal trainer.
Okay.
Yep.
And what prompted you to look into NASM? Was that kind of same
I
thing,
just,
looking for your
I
own
mean, even
medicine?
like I said, I grew up doing the workout thing, and even before I found Primal Movement and BAM, like I was obsessed with working out and wanted to share it. And
Hmm.
everyone always was like, "Dude, can you take me to the gym? Can you show me how to work out?" And I would show people lifts and stuff, and
Yeah.
I would take a guy and and go have him do the workout I'm doing, and
Yeah.
just completely give him DOM syndrome, the delayed onset muscle soreness. And they're like,
Oh
"Oh, I
yeah.
can't do this. How do you do that?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
Gotta
maybe. I
get
was
like
like, you know
me.
what? Maybe this isn't the right way. Maybe this is. I'm a bad coach. I'm like, I don't like the NASM thing. What am I doing?
Not into
Um,
it.
that was. I shouldn't have said that. I'm referring to back in when I was a late teenager and people I was trying to show
Got
them
you.
things in the gym. The
Yeah.
NASM thing happened much later.
Got
28
you.
years
Got you.
old. But I never got hired at a gym. I never did anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like it was part of your interest that much at that point.
No, not so much. I think
No.
I did the NASM certification. That was just a weird time period with COVID going on.
Mm-hmm.
Think I wanted to like
Mm-hmm.
occupy myself with, you know, the open
Yeah.
time that I had. And
100%
then,
form of
and,
education.
yeah. And then I was like, okay, go do like a personal trainer at a local gym or go utilize my college degree that I just spent several years trying to obtain. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's go utilize the college degree.
Pretty obvious choice. Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
maybe not so obvious because only
Oh.
2 years into that, I was done with it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I,
Sometimes those situations we're not enjoying that much are really great catalysts to slingshot us into like something else.
Mhm.
I would say so. And yeah, man. So into the coaching certification, we were both luckily in that first wave, which
Yeah.
was a really fun experience for me. Like really big time. We had a really cool group of people to go through
Mhm.
that with. And it would be no small thing to say that that's absolutely changed my life going through that cert, plus the continued education afterwards. What would you say like about that cert experience really uh, impacted you? What comes to mind?
Oh man. I mean, that was a not to get down on it, but
Mm,
part, that time to me speaks a lot about what I was doing. My
mm,
grandfather was struggling. He died shortly after that we
mm.
got certified. So I was
Mhm.
actually living in Roseville at my grandparents' house, kind of caring
Caring
for my
for him.
grandfather in his
Mm,
last couple months of life. So I was
mm.
going through that cert process while caring for him. Um, so obviously, besides my time with him, I was just like
Yeah,
dialed in on the cert.
yeah, yeah.
But when I do look back at that time and I look at those impacts, I just have like a lot of memories of just being on the farm,
Mm.
um, and kind of helping take care of my grandfather. And
Brings you back there.
yeah, that's where it brings me back. And then when
Yeah.
I think about like the impact of like primal movement in general, it's almost like you said, it's like, dude, the most impactful things that have happened to me with this group is like super recent. Like
Mm.
it's not just the cert that changed my life. It's like
Hmm.
everything that's continually happened forward and throughout because we're still all connected with each other. I did the
Yeah.
summit in Tahoe. You guys, I unfortunately missed the Florida one, but like
Mm.
we're connected, we're
Yeah.
communicating, we're growing. Like I've watched new coach waves. Like Jen wasn't in our coach cert, and I'm like
Hmm.
watching her grow as a therapist and as a coach and doing her
Yeah.
like I've just seen all these people grow, and we're still in contact with one another. I feel like all my the big impacts I'm seeing and feeling are super
Mm.
recent.
I I totally agree with you, and and yeah, sometimes they're not always like concentrated in like a particular moment or a particular thing that happens, but I would feel like a lot of what we're gaining as a reward of being in this world and taking on that certification, joining the community, is kind of this like it's more of like a it's not an instant gratification, it's like a delayed gratification because it's kind
Hmm.
of like long term and it's like a constant. And so it's not always these big flashy moments, but it's kind of this thing that's always there with us that we can be super grateful for. And I would totally agree, man. The community aspect of it is 100 million% why I'm still psyched about being in here and just all the great people that we've met and just getting together again and sharing this good stuff. It's shown me a lot about the different ways that we can interact with each other, the different ways that people can treat each other, and the different kinds of like respects and consideration. And especially having been in those like student roles in the certification, having Bam, Jameson, and Carly in those coaching roles really highlighted to me like just like a different way you could go about interacting with somebody. Um, just like it's really artful and it's really skillful being a coach because
Hmm.
you always have to adapt and you have to meet that person where they are. And there's a general formula, but you know, when you're trying to encourage someone or when you're trying to keep them accountable, it's like you have to be skillful with like how much to push and like what's the right time and what's the right thing to share with them at the right time. And dude, it's just opened my eyes to so much within myself, within other people, and I'm super grateful for it. It's been it's been super crazy, and I love it. And
Yeah, I can add. I think it's funny. I go to college for a communication studies degree, but I feel like I've learned more about communication being a movement coach than I did through college.
amen, dude.
Yeah.
Amen. Absolutely. Especially when you're dealing with something as personal and emotional as someone's body. It's like
Hmm.
you really have to take care. You really have to be present to be effective. And you really have to manage yourself in a way where you have the capacity to be present for that person in that moment and try to do your best. And dude, crazy, crazy gifts. It's amazing. Um, I want to know a little bit about what your movement practice, maybe personally, looks like right now. I understand that we go through changes, we go through flows, we focus on different areas. Is there anything you're focusing on right now? Any ideas you're having or thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, I love decompression, dude. I wake up every morning and just hit the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself uh, doing both, still feet on the wall, even feet on the
Mm-hmm.
bed sometimes, but I love tummy time, and I love exploring more with like rolling around in tummy time now,
Yeah.
getting more
Yeah.
into my side lying and bending and twisting my body.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I feel like I first started decompression, it was really just like, hey, let's stagnantly lay here.
Yeah.
I'm
Keep
getting
it simple to
better
start.
at um, just trying to find more of a wavy movement from the floor to standing. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of how every recode every morning starts with me.
Mm.
Um, and then that's just kind of like my wake up routine in a sense.
Yeah.
When it comes to like performance in the recode. Like I'm doing a lot more single leg work these days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then what I love to do is I really like to recode and then go hit the range at like play
Yeah.
golf.
Yeah.
So I like find new space in my body and then I go swing my club and try and
Mm-hmm.
utilize that new space and ability to turn and try to
Mm-hmm.
like wire it into that pattern in a sense. I feel
Yes.
like, with
I
movement
love that.
code, it's like, hey, let's do your recode and then go walk and run. I'm
Yeah,
like, well, I'm going to recode and I'm going to go walk and swing.
exactly. Do you
um,
find the single leg stuff translates to golf in a like particularly different way than maybe like bilateral stuff?
oh, certainly.
Mm.
Certainly different, but still very relatable.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for
But
sure.
it's definitely different. Like, you're using an interior portion, I believe, the interior oblique sling when you're coming
Hmm.
through with the golf swing. So it's not full, it's not fully back chain,
Yeah,
in a
like
sense.
anything,
So
right? It's gonna have front chain, back chain symbiosis.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So um, it's different. It's different than the running.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you into running? Is that something you like to do?
Yeah, I used to run a lot. I don't run as much as I used to,
Hmm.
but that's just because I used to like run for fun, and the
Yeah.
trails were super nearby. If I wanted to go do the trail running that I used to like to do for fun, it involves a little bit of a longer drive.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and I personally would my golf course is like 5 minutes away.
Oh yeah.
So I try to
Hmm.
spend as little time in the car as possible. And I've definitely talked
Hmm.
myself into, if I'm going to do my running and whatnot, I just do it out in the quad in my front yard.
Hmm.
It's like a
Yeah.
shared quad with some of the other neighbors. And it's only
Nice.
about a 50-yard space of grass. So I do short
Yeah.
sprints. I don't do
Nice.
long, I don't do the long duration running like I used to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mess with the short sprints. I'm also a little bit picky about my running. I'm not interested in running on the road, not interested in running on the sidewalks.
Same.
Miss me with that. I'd
Yeah.
literally rather just not move sometimes. But
Yeah.
yeah, trail running, money. Love it. Absolutely love it. And
Yeah. If I'm going to do the running, I do the trail running, which happens, few far and in between. But I love the
mhm.
sprinting, especially that's performance in the golf swing too. You got to be able to
Yes.
have
Yeah,
the ability to move quick with power.
absolutely.
So definitely
I
stick
would
with the short sprints.
I would love to know how I guess I would love to know how your um experience in the coaching position has developed over the last couple years, like both with the golf and with the primal movement. Because I'm imagining that coaching position maybe doesn't necessarily matter what medium it goes through,
Hmm.
because you're Coach Stephen either way.
Hmm.
Um, how would you say like your experience being a coach has changed, maybe since the certification?
Yeah, I can almost bring it back to what we were just saying before, where it's like I think the biggest change for me is my ability to coach by meeting people where they're at.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, going back to what I had mentioned about myself of like when I was first, 16, 17 years old and I'm in the gym and people are like, "Hey, show me how to work out." And I would just
Hmm.
show them what I knew from myself and
Hmm.
not acknowledging that, hey, I need to meet this person where they're at. And I'm just
Yeah.
like dumping heavy weightlifting, tons of sets and like destroying
Yeah.
these people's bodies in
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
workout for them to be
Yeah.
like, I don't want to come back and do this again.
Yes.
Coming from that state of mind to now where it's like, how can I take what I understand, what I know, and what have I experienced with myself to break this down to give
Hmm.
this person that knowledge so they can do it themselves? Not, hey,
Hmm.
copy me, or hey, this
Yeah.
is like you need to do X, Y, Z, but more of so I'm going to show you an option of what to do, how to incorporate it, and how this may work best for you, and then let you work on that and have you give me feedback so I can help
Hmm.
reiterate or re-guide
Hmm.
what I'm trying to get across. And
Hmm.
the ability to like literally ask questions, get an
Yeah.
understanding of where people's heads are at, how they're interpreting things. Because like yeah, it comes down to communication. Just because I told
Sure.
you to do like I can tell you or say whatever I want. The what I'm trying to get across so like seldomly is received the way it's given or
Mm.
intended to be given.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
um yeah, I think I've gotten a lot better at understanding that I need to meet someone where they're at,
Nice.
ask them questions,
Yeah.
and utilize their own answers to help guide them instead of pushing me on them.
Mm. Yeah, 100 million. Totally vibe with that. And yeah, when I hear that and I look back on my experience being a student with a coach above me and seeing how the coaches did it in that way, like here's what you in particular could really use to benefit. Um, Super effective, and it feels curated, and it feels like you know it is about you, the one who's receiving, right? Um, I know that there is often always a lot of talk about imposter syndrome, especially
Mm.
in the like coaches world and us sharing with each other, keeping each other, motivated and encouraged and stuff. Like, is that an experience that you felt throughout the process?
Oh yeah, 100%. I was actually talking to shout out to Jen
Mm,
Sampson.
mm,
She encouraged me and lightweight motivated me to be a body worker. So we
awesome.
connected in Tahoe, and she's a massage therapist, body worker, and just
Hmm.
chopping it up with her. And that mixed with a couple other things really made me want to be a massage therapist on top of a movement coach, because I think just the two go hand in hand together.
Mm,
And now that I'm doing uh, massage therapy school, I'm getting that imposter syndrome again. And I'm like,
okay.
dude, this is the same thing as what happened when
Hmm.
I was getting certified as a movement coach.
Hmm.
And it's just hilarious how your perspective on something can totally dictate the way
Mm,
you view yourself.
mm,
And it's like I can look at massage therapy and say, I'm just, people showed me how to do a couple strokes, and now I'm just
hmm.
mimicking these strokes, and I don't really know anything. All I was really taught was how to do a stroke, but that's so untrue.
Yeah.
I know the anatomy of the body. I can
Mm,
therefore dictate the way the muscle fibers should be aligned. And
mm,
therefore, if I'm doing this stroke and I'm feeling muscle fibers out of line or whatever it may be, then I know that
mm,
I can do a warming technique. I can then do to get blood flow and circulation to this area. I can then utilize this other technique that I've been taught to now,
mm,
affect the adhesions and the fascia, and
mm.
and then I can use these tools and everything that I've been taught to listen to the instead of me. Sorry, my brain's going in a million different directions right now,
I'll just
but
send it.
the idea is that, hey, just because you're not necessarily copying someone, you're utilizing the tools that you were taught
Mm,
to um, to work on this person's body. And once again, it's like instead of meeting, it's like meeting someone where they're at in coaching. In
mm,
massage therapy, you're talking to that muscle and you're meeting that muscle where it's at. So it's
yeah.
like, it's not, I'm just going to dig into your rhomboid because I know that this particular technique can affect your rhomboid.
Mm,
Whereas it's like, hey, how about I like palpate this muscle? Let's feel it out. Let's see what's going
and
on.
get to know it.
And as I touch this muscle and as I move and use my technique, I'm not doing what I think needs to be done. I'm
Mm,
letting that muscle talk to me and guide me into where I need to go.
cool.
So once again, asking this muscle questions and seeing where this muscle's at and meeting that muscle where it is so I
Mm,
can help that muscle change itself is the
mm.
exact same way I'm coaching a person through movement coaching, because I'm not doing anything. I'm helping you help you.
Dude, that's such a cool perspective.
Yeah.
Like letting the muscle guide you where to go instead of you having this preconceived idea of how the muscle should look, feel, move,
Yeah.
etc. That's super cool. So with
Yeah.
this round of imposter syndrome, after having experienced some of it in like the primal situation, would you say you were better equipped to like deal with and understand it this time
Yeah.
around?
Yeah. Yeah, for
Sweet.
sure. I think that um, it's also super helpful because I'm in a community of
Mm,
just like when I was in a community with Primal Movement getting certified, I'm now in a community of massage therapists being certified.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
this time around, recognizing that, like, hey, did you have this community around you?
Mm,
Utilize it just like you did with the coaching. I think it was
mm,
just easier for me to branch out and now be a leader in this situation,
mm,
because I am coming into a practice that, is about the body.
yeah.
And I have previous knowledge about the body, previous knowledge on anatomy. And so
Mm,
I think I have people in my cohort that kind of look up to me as a leader. And I'm like, all
Cool.
right, so not only am I, do I have this community to utilize, but I feel like some of these
Mm.
people are relying on me too.
That's a
And I
cool
think that
feeling,
kind
man.
of lit a fire underneath me to be like, all right, let's step up and lead. Let's not
Give a little
let
bit
these
of confidence
feelings.
boost.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
there you go.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What when you were having an experience with imposter syndrome during the primal time, what would you say was really effective for helping you move through that?
Having like uh maybe one-on-ones, two-on-ones, three on, like I feel like you and
Mm,
me and a couple other coaches at the time were jumping on Zoom calls. We were communicating with one another. We were sharing each other's stories.
mm,
Um, and it was just really, really similar stuff coming from every single person.
mm-hmm.
And it just really helped me feel like, this is just the ebb and flow of the process.
Yeah,
Everyone's, this is
yeah.
just, it's human to feel and think this way.
Like
Um,
normalizing it.
but it's also a choice to work through it or sit in that victimhood,
Yeah,
if you will.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, because you're gonna feel it anyways. Uh,
It would be
when,
weird if you didn't. If you just
yeah,
stepped into
I would
every
think
single
so.
thing you did and you're like, I know it all. I got this.
I'm the
Like
man.
that
Yeah,
is that's a character I don't hold.
yeah. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. That's like, yeah. There's this emotional signal that says like, I haven't done this before. I don't necessarily have any evidence that I have done this or can even do it well, but you got to like override it with the help of whether it's mindset or community and just say, fucking, I'm jumping in anyways.
Hmm.
That's dope. That's super dope. And and so you've been integrating the movement with the coaching, or sorry, with the golfing, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way
Those
I
worlds
see it, if
collide.
you're golfing, you're walking. And
Absolutely.
if you're walking a lot and you're
Mm-hmm.
swinging a club pretty vigorously, you don't really need to
Mm-hmm.
swing the club that hard, but a lot of amateurs, we weren't taught how to swing a golf club since we were kids. So a lot of cranking, a
Yeah.
lot of yanking on the body. It's a lot. And
Yes.
I think that golf is also, I get to play for free, thank goodness. If I didn't,
Dope.
there's no way I could play as much as I did.
Mm-hmm.
Golf is, at least where I'm playing, a lot of the guys are in retirement and this is what they get to do for fun now. And after you work
Mm-hmm.
for however many years doing whatever it is you're doing, neglecting your body, and then
You're
trying to go
crispy.
out and walk and swing a club, there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people out there who are like, hey, I can't do this thing that I really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I go? How do I, like, what's my path from here? So I feel like I
Yeah.
connect with a lot of guys out at the golf course to say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
um, there is a practice that you can utilize, that's going to really benefit you and increase your ability to come out and play this do this activity and play this game that you love to play, for
Mm-hmm.
quite some time.
Yeah.
Um, so
How do you find the golf crowd is the receptivity to something like that? Because I guess in my mind, I immediately have a preconception about the golf crowd in that it's a little bit formal, I would say. And then I
yeah, you're
also
not
have
wrong
this
about
like
that.
I have this
Um,
view of like primal movement that's a little bit abstract, a little bit
Informal.
hippie, almost a
Yeah.
little bit informal. Yeah.
Well, there's two ways to look at that. One would be the formal, informal way. But the other, like kind of the flip side of that coin is that some
Mm,
guys, some aspects of golf right now is like you got to hit the ball a really long way, right? Golf right
mm,
now is becoming like the long hitters game. And if you don't
mm,
have the long ball, you're just not going to be in that top tier. So yeah, you
mm,
do have the younger guys who are like trying to hit the weight room, trying to hit the long ball. But with that being
yeah.
said, a lot of good swing coaches will tell you like the weight room is not necessarily all the ways to go, always the way to go,
Mm,
and the weight room
mm,
can actually, put some hindrance on your body and your
for
ability
sure.
to swing the club the way it needs to be swung.
Yep.
So the idea of getting into more of a calisthenics based practice and really just being able to move your body better to do this really intricate movement,
Mm-hmm.
is actually quite receptive because it's like, hey,
Uh,
yeah, my body's limited in mobility and, side
Mm-hmm.
bending and twisting. It's like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to get that out of a deadlift. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people are already kind of well aware that, um, obviously getting stronger, maybe being able to lift some weight is, you know,
Mm.
going to increase your ability to hit a longer ball. But most guys are like, hey, I understand that it has a lot more to do with just my ability to move my body, not my body's
Yeah.
ability to move weight. So
Yes.
I would
Yeah.
say a lot of guys are actually quite receptive to it. And then
That's really
it's
cool.
opening up the door in my mind is like, hey, let's look at a lot of guys are like, hey, yeah, I go play golf. I have back pain afterwards.
Mm.
Is it really swinging the golf club that's hurting you? Or is it maybe the fact that you sit in a chair all week at work and then all of a sudden you went and walked 6 miles up and downhill and then,
Yeah.
or you're riding in a cart and you're sitting down like
Yeah.
this all day, foot up on the
Yeah.
dashboard, tail tucked up. So, I
And
mean,
then you twisted your shit aggressively over and over and over again.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, hey, let's look at like what the game of golf is. And it's like, it's a lot of
Yeah.
walking. And I think the walking is what's stressing you out. And like, it's like, let's
Mm.
look at the way you're walking. Like, how many times do you swing a golf club in a round? 150 times or
Facts.
something like this with practice swings
Yeah.
included or whatever. But like, how many steps are you taking in that round? Like
Mm-hmm.
15,000 steps. What do those steps
Mm-hmm.
look like, dude? So, um, yeah, I think
That's probably
it's,
the most they move all week.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That's super cool. You're kind of like bringing my mind to the awareness that even in something like golf, which I don't think of right away as like a really like high speed sport necessarily. And so my mind makes this association that it's like less physical than other sports, but it's completely not true. It's it's very skill based and it's
Yeah.
very like particular motion and accuracy and technique based. And I think that that's really cool because I believe that it almost invites a pretty high level of body awareness when you're actually doing it. Um,
Oh, yeah.
because of all the technique it takes to swing the bat. And so I could absolutely see how primal movement or a similar body awareness practice could like really speak to these people. Because, yeah, like you said, just little things like side bends. And then it was like, oh, something's going on in the side bend. Then they see something like primal movement, and there's a lot of rotational aspects of it. There's so much rotation being talked about and practiced, and that's what these guys are doing the whole time when they're on the golf course.
Right. And I mean, you've heard this before, I'm sure, that slow is fast. You could do something really
Mm,
well slow, chances are
mm,
you can do it pretty decent fast. If you're not
yeah,
good at doing something slow, how are you ever going to do it fast?
yeah,
So if you go teach someone how to swing a golf club, you're going to see some slow swing rehearsals. And I'm like,
yeah,
well,
for
how
sure.
funny is that? Because what I
Yeah,
practice is how to load a single leg and how to run and do this things really slow.
like slow
And it's like, get
walking.
good at doing it slow. I'm like, you even do
Mm-hmm,
it, if you go to a swing coach, they're going to have you do some slow swings. When's the last
mm-hmm.
time you went to a fitness coach and they had you do something slow? Everyone's like, do it as fast as you can, do it as fast as you can. I'm
Oh,
like, and that's the first
CrossFit.
thing you did? That's the first,
Yeah,
that's, you just jumped right into it. It's like, imagine if I were a golf coach and I'm like, the first thing I need you to do is hit
mm.
that ball and just swing as hard as you can. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to go
You're like,
anywhere.
nah, sorry, we're gone.
Like, that's not,
100%.
yeah, like you learn how to chip the ball first. You learn how to do things at like a very like my
Mm-hmm,
golf like so I do take swing lessons. Not currently, but I have in the past. And
mm-hmm.
I actually was trading services. My swing coach, I would train him primal movement. He would train me swing coaching.
Yeah,
But he always
yeah,
says
he's
like
great.
if you're having a hard time with the full swing, you go back to to the short game. The short game is the hospital.
Yeah,
So if things are
yeah.
going
Oh,
array in
that's
the full
cool.
swing, bring it back
Yeah,
down to the short game. Bring it, start chipping, and
the short
and
game's the hospital.
weed out yeah. You got to heal yourself in the short game area. And I'm like, dude, it's the same thing with
Weird.
movement. If you're over here
Yes.
running and sprinting and you're having a hard time and things aren't going right, you got to bring it
Mm-hmm.
back to the short game. You got to come back to the
Dude.
hospital and clean up the short game before we start doing these long swings. And so, yeah, when I coach golf and I coach movement, I'm like, dude, it's too silly how similar these things are. And I'm like,
Yes.
and I'm like trying to get people. I'm like, can you see? Do you hear what I'm talking about? Do you see this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because of the analogy with the swing and the short, it's like I can get guys in golf to go, dude, stop making so much sense right now. They're like, my brain hurts. Like, we got 14 holes ahead of us, and you're breaking my
Yeah.
brain right now. So
Yeah. Yeah. That must feel so good.
it
Be like,
does, man. It
uh-huh.
does. Yeah. I always
I
get the question on the golf course. So, what do you do? I'm like, how much time you got, buddy?
You should have never asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, what you're saying right now is making me think of that clip of Bam and Colin on their podcast where they're talking about the martial arts mindset, and it sounds like what I got from it is like the very similar approach to the golf thing, where it's just like break it down, and by drilling and integrating and practicing, it becomes this natural, it becomes this reflexive, it becomes this like flow in how we move our body.
Yeah.
And in experiencing like a small amount of martial arts in my own life, it's like every gym I go to, they start with the absolute basic fundamentals. And you always drill the fundamentals, and you can never drill the fundamentals too much because they become your second nature.
Mhm.
And it sounds the absolute same thing with the golf swing. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, if something's going wrong in the big expression, we bring it down all the way, like as much as we can, break it down to the very smallest thing we can do. And
Yeah.
I think, dude, rockers, tummy time, laying on the back. It's like that triple right there is like, I can't do enough of that. I actually can't do enough of that. And it
No.
feels unreal.
And the funny thing too is like another way I kind of get guys to open their eyes is like um, when you swing a golf club, like the biggest uh, bad thing to do, bad thing to do in a golf swing is
Mm.
to extend your hips into the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I know a little bit about that.
Uh-huh.
So you have a hard time pulling your hips back, right? And like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, maybe if you spend some time in a movement practice learning how to pull your hips back, when you go to
Mm.
swing a golf club, this feeling, the sensation, and the ability to pull your hips behind you to then rotate around is
Mm-hmm.
not going to be a foreign feeling. And it's going to be
Yeah.
something that you're working on every single day, even
Mm.
outside of the golf swing. Like
Mm.
being a better golfer is just a product of being a better mover.
100%. 100%.
That's
Quick
how I
quick
feel.
aside, what kind of shoes you got on the golf course?
Dude, I am known in the area to be just golfing with the dogs out. Like I'll
Oh,
golf
for
barefoot.
real?
I will
They
golf
don't they
barefoot.
don't reprimand you? They don't put you away or anything?
No, no, no. It's a pretty laid back
That's dope.
public golf course. Dude, to be real with you, my dog comes out and golfs with me all the time. She's an
Dude,
absolute
that's what's
angel.
up.
I put her
Dude,
on my
that sounds
golf
like the
cart.
spot.
Yeah. And she doesn't bark, she doesn't chase, she doesn't do nothing. She
Mm.
golfers on the golf course make way more damage than she does
Yeah.
between,
Yeah.
divots and pitch marks. But
Dude, that's
yeah, she's
cool.
awesome. I go barefoot. I have paluvas that I wear, so I wear
Love
my
it.
toe shoes. I call them my twinkle toes.
Twinkle
There's
toes.
never a moment or a day where I've worn those shoes and haven't had at least five people go, "What are
What
those?"
is that? Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But then shout out to True Links Golf Wear. I wear True Links. They
Okay.
are the only golf shoe to have minimalist style, wide toe box, zero drop,
Nice.
and a couple guys on
Need that.
tour wear them. But
Dope. Dope.
yeah, those are my go-to golf shoes.
Okay.
If
Okay,
I
cool.
gotta wear them.
Another question I had was on the aspect of the trailing leg and the internal rotation that happens, maybe like when people are driving in particular. And something that we notice in like male populations, which tends to be a lot of golfers, is like having the inability to internally rotate. What do you observe or experience when you're in the golf world and people are driving and you need to twist in on that hit? Are some people having a hard time doing that?
Oh, I would say most guys.
Yeah.
most guys. And that internal rotation too has a lot to do with pulling the hips back. If you're pushing your hips forward,
Mm-hmm. You're
that just
working
the whole
against
sequence
yourself.
isn't. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I think it's a limitation
Mm.
that I've I don't know if even myself still to this day I can find more room and more space for that. Doesn't necessarily limit me
Me
in the
too.
golf swing though,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
because I mean you can obviously not have too much of it. But yeah, internal rotation is probably it's something that I've worked with every single client.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to be able to
Yeah.
hinge better.
100%. a hundred
Yeah.
percent. I was working with my buddy the other day, and we got into just a pretty standard forward fold, bit of support, and got him into the forward fold, but had him rip apart a little bit and try to get the femurs turned in. And he had this experience where his sensation went all the way down, and then like his foot wanted to cramp.
Oh
And I was
wow.
just
Yeah.
like, whoa. I was like, that's a
Yeah.
gold mine right there. Just like you felt that whole chain, that whole connection on this internal rotation. Like, that's a whole bunch of potential that you just felt right there that
Yeah.
we can pull out.
And honestly, to kind of piggyback off what you're asking is when I think about whether you're driving or hitting an iron or a wedge,
Mm,
um, any type of longer shot, longer full swing,
mm,
we're doing, one rotation, we're loading back and on each different leg. It's the big
yeah.
thing that guys struggle with is the ability to transition their weight from the back foot to the front foot. Most
Mm,
guys either can't load the trail leg or
yeah.
they load the trail leg so much that they can't unload it and reload into the next.
They just stay
So
on the trail leg.
yeah, they get stuck on the
Yeah.
backside.
Yeah.
So for me and the movement coaching, it's like, yeah, obviously I want you to hinge better and I want you to unlock internal rotation. But when I'm working with a guy from golf and we're talking about the movement and how it, translates into the golf, my
Mm,
big thing is like, hey, when we're doing single leg work, or maybe it is bilateral work, but we're maybe whether it be a crab walk or whatever it is, it's like,
yeah.
let's really dial in and slow down the ability to transition weight from one leg to the next.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, whether it be, we're doing step back, single leg drop ins, or, I mean, you can do it
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
so many different ways, but it
Yeah.
really is just dialing in, like, let's understand and feel the sensation of loading one hip, unloading it, and loading the other hip. And let's
Hmm.
just go back and forth and back and forth. And like, this is our walk, and we can turn it up, and this is our run. And if we
Hmm.
really wanted to, here's our sprint, right? But then
Yeah.
it's like, hey, let's look at this. This is our backswing. This is our follow
Hmm.
through. And then they go, oh my gosh. I'm like, you're over
Make the
here talking to me
connections.
about walking and running, and I'm kind of tuned out. And then I say the golf swing, and they go, oh,
Yeah. Frothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking
Love it.
about. So, um,
Love it.
yeah, transitioning weight, transitioning the ability to take load pressure and release pressure off one leg and put it into the
Mm,
other
yeah.
is so big.
Yeah. And you said like finding that connection into that thing that they love doing. Like,
Hmm.
okay, this is all great. How does it relate to what I want to do? How does it
Right.
relate to this thing that I love so much?
Because being really good at loading and releasing pressure off of each foot and leg to walk well is
Hmm.
super important for every human. But not
Yeah.
every human is super passionate about it like you and me.
It's
So it's
true.
like, I'm going to teach you this thing that's going to help
Take
you
it for
change your
mega
life.
granted. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not going to appreciate it or like it as much. So I'm going to, once again, I'm going to meet you where you're at and I'm going to show you, let's say it's kind of the same thing in the golf swing. So
Hmm.
now their brain's
Oh,
turning.
did you say
Now they're
golf?
clicking. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
exactly. Ball?
Yeah. Did you notice you internally rotate when you drink beer? And they're like, yo, let me get on a program, dog.
Love that.
Bro, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. But yeah, it does take like a I don't know what it is, a certain kind of genome or gene sequence to be like, oh yeah, the way I walk, yeah, I got to tune into that for sure. It's yeah. Yeah, you're right. Not a lot of people are like fascinated by that
Yeah.
much.
I don't
Because
know
like
what it
yeah,
is.
it is it can
Something
be
in me.
mundane. It can be
Yeah.
mundane. It can absolutely be mundane. And and I think that that's like that tends to be where like so much value is like in that mundaneness. And like the more you practice those like really boring things. And I kind of think I had a thought like a while ago, which is like, if I knew that I could make my body feel super freaking good, but what I had to do every day was try to draw the perfect circle for 30 minutes and just do that, but I knew that it would guarantee my body like really good feelings. I think if a lot of people knew that that was an option, they'd be like, yes, 100%,
Hmm.
100%. But when it comes to spending dedicated time to moving your body and especially experiencing like the uncomfortable things that come with pushing into new places or doing the mundane so much or the boredom of it, it drives a lot of people away. Um,
Hmm.
why do you think you have the capacity for this this like repetition or fascination for the small things?
That's a great question that I'm not sure I know the answer to, but
Me
I will
neither.
say that I do it. I mean, like for whatever it is, I have that special something inside me that says like, hey,
Mm,
this is walking something mundane, but I find it to
mm,
be super special and a really cool thing to be good at.
yeah.
Um, the same way I feel like hockey is super fun to play and cool and fun to be good at. Same
Yeah.
with golf. And
Uh-huh.
when I have these passions and things that I see that I think are cool and can be really fun and amazing to be good at,
Mm.
I just have that tick in my brain to say, let's get after it.
Yeah.
Um, I
It
mean,
sounds like
obviously,
gratitude.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a loss of words for how to explain why or how, but
Mm.
maybe gratitude, maybe.
Yeah. I'm also thinking back to when you said like it got to the point where you were like, I'll do whatever the hell to make this feel better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
I was I was at a place where I had given in and I was ready to, give the
mm,
reins to
hmm
someone else to say,
hmm
because I mean, I could backtrack on that a little bit, like in the search of trying to find, better running techniques and trying to find, you know, I was on a big search of trying to help my like I wanted to fix myself. I wanted to
yeah,
gain all the
yeah,
knowledge. I didn't want to hire a coach. I'm like, I can do this on my own. I
hmm
gotta do this on my own. My dad had a
yeah,
really bad back injury. I was always
yeah,
seeking out the recipe to heal a body or to help someone with low
mm,
back pain so I could help my
hmm
dad. So it's always like, I'm
hmm
always trying to help myself. I'm always trying to help my dad. And then I
hmm
finally got to this point where it was like, I need help to help me. And
yeah,
then maybe I can help my dad and all
yeah.
this
I
and that.
gotcha.
So, giving in and being open
Mm.
to receive
It's like,
help.
yeah, and you're very passionate about your food. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that about you. What's in your cup? I seen you like swinging a cup around a little bit.
Dude, that is my aunt and uncle live right down the road, and they have a really nice lemon tree.
Uh huh.
And I go over there and I pick fresh lemons. So I have a
Oh
ton of
yeah.
lemon squeezed into some water to add
Hell
in
yeah, dude.
those electrolytes. And
Hell
trying to
yeah.
hydrate, baby. Tastes good.
Did you did your like perception relationship with food, did that kind of follow your like relationship and learning with your body, or was that something that happened at a different time in a different way?
Dude, I have a funny story. It's not really a story, but my parents tell me when I was a kid, they would
Yeah.
try to feed me food, and my response was, "Is it healthy?" And they
Dude,
go,
that's
"Yes,
wild.
this is healthy." And I'd go, "Okay," and I'd eat it. Like
Dude.
I so badly wanted to be such a great athlete, even from
Yeah.
such a young kid, that like
Yeah.
I was eating steaks and broccoli and eating my vegetables and fruits, and like
Yeah.
I was just, if it was a healthy food, I was eating it. And I was
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
blessed to have a family that provided me with the healthy food that cooked at home. Every dinner, you had to be home. I kind of, I'm not gonna
It's a
lie.
gift.
I ate cereal as a kid. I had the Lucky Charms. I had PB and
Oh
J
yeah.
for lunch, but
Yeah.
dinner time was time to be at the dinner table with the family, and
Yeah.
that time was generally the more nutritious meal of the day. And
Mm.
my dad really just ingrained, my mom too, um, ingrained into me that healthy eating is like a huge part of being able to uh, sustain a healthy body and to be an
Yeah.
athlete. So
Yeah.
I remember, dude, when I was once again like 16, 17, 18 years old, going to the
Hmm.
gym, being a complete meathead,
Yeah.
I would not eat out. I wouldn't
It,
eat McDonald's, Taco Bell. All my buddies would be
when you
getting
think
it.
about it.
I'd be like, you guys
Yeah.
are crazy for eating this. And they thought I
Yeah.
was crazy for not eating it. And
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
just the healthy food thing has always been a thing I've
It's just
followed.
been in place.
Yeah,
Awesome. Has it
yeah.
evolved over the years, would you say? Like within the realm of healthy food, like are there any hits and misses, things that you're like, oh, adding this was really big, or maybe cutting this out was big?
I would say that there was actually a moment in time where I fell off and I started to succumb to the fast foods and eating out. And I
Mm.
read an article that was like, are you the type of person where you're so picky with your food it like affects your social life? So it's like you
Oh
go out with a
yeah.
group of friends and everyone wants to eat, but you're the difficult guy who doesn't want to eat
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. So I actually kind
So
of
I
took
just
on a I actually took on this
me
like
too.
fallacious idea of like let's succumb to
Mm.
eating the junk food with everyone and not being a pain in the butt. Um,
Yeah.
so, but with that being said, I would argue that every once in a blue moon, um,
Hmm.
not being a pain in the butt and just going with the flow with the crowd of people,
Yeah.
um, and enjoying whether it be a dessert, a cake,
Yeah.
pizza, whatever it may be. I'll
Hmm.
eat that every once in a blue moon, and I don't see it hurting
Yeah.
me that bad.
For
And
sure.
the majority of the time, I can't eat healthy, and it just kind of, you know, kind of like the movement thing. It's like obviously you want to feed yourself healthy movement and you want to
Mm.
have that be the main thing. But if every once in a blue moon you sneak outside your comfort zone, you explore and you play a little bit,
Hmm.
you learn how far you can go, and then you dial it back in.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
So
And just knowing that like our body's resilient enough that when we do choose to stray outside of what our normal eating is, like we'll be fine. We'll be
yeah,
totally okay. Body can handle it. And like you
yeah,
said, we're on point like most of the time.
most of the
Uh,
time, the vast
yeah.
majority of the time.
Yeah. And that's a
Yeah,
good feeling because the dividends are actually huge. The
yeah.
rewards are just massive.
And I don't know if you remember this, but or I'm sorry, I'm crazy. In
Uh,
Tahoe,
mm,
um, I was originally going to do a diet restriction and try and do my own thing in Tahoe, and I get there and I'm like, why am I going to be the out like
mm,
why would I do this
mm.
to myself? Like let's just get in there and eat with the
Go
group.
with it.
And I
And
ate veg.
can you dive a bit more into that? Like what was your diet restriction and then what was happening in Tahoe?
So they were eating a vegetarian, like vegan based, essentially
Yeah.
diet, and I am
Yeah.
a meat eater, and
Hmm.
I love my steaks and meat and
Hmm.
eggs and fat, animal
Yeah.
fat, and
Yeah. Big
I
up.
purchased a half cow that I have in my freezer, and I wanted to bring
Ooh.
these meats. I wanted to share them with the other meat eaters,
Hmm.
and I get there and I'm like, even before I got in the house, I'm like, I feel weird bringing
Hmm.
my portable grill. The house
Hmm.
that we were in,
Hmm.
they had actually asked that we don't cook meat inside the house. They just wanted to
Oh.
respect the space,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
keep it like animal free, which I
Hmm.
totally respected. So I brought this like grill for outdoors, and dude,
Yeah.
when I set that down, I was like, this is ridiculous, man. You can
You're
go a
like
week
it's
without
extra.
meat, and I was just like, the grill just sat there. I ate
Hmm.
with everyone. We said
Hmm.
our blessings before the meals. Dude, the food was amazing. Is
Yeah.
probably I got more variety, just more things that I generally don't eat on a regular basis, and like that was actually a really impactful and embracing moment for me with my food to say like, hey, let's reach out and eat foods that you don't normally eat more
For
often.
sure. For sure. How did it feel? How did your body respond?
Felt great.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah.
There's more
Yeah.
fiber than I generally consume, so
Yeah.
um,
You
you know
already
what
know.
happens with that. But
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a
Yeah.
bad thing, and
Yeah.
I felt great. And I actually came home and I tried to incorporate some of the dishes that we had there into like my own home cooking. Like I generally
Hmm.
don't. I'm forgetting the name of the dish, but it's like a lentil dish. You throw some onions and
Oh yeah.
carrots in there, and
Yeah.
uh,
Doll?
oh,
Is it doll? No.
no, can't remember. Um,
Mm.
but anyways, it's supposed to be a healing and a renewing meal.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, yeah, I'm gonna cook this. I'm gonna have this like once a week.
Hmm. Dude, I
And
think that that's so cool that you heard that within yourself when you arrived there and you're like, what am I doing bringing this thing here that's going to make me feel separate from the whole kind of
yeah,
experience? And you opted for connectivity and like union with everyone. Be like,
yeah,
hey, I can put away this one preference for this small period of time and open myself up to it and then see that like, hey, this was good. I fuck with this.
I a part of me was like, man, I wish I could have just made that decision at home and not even brought this stuff. Like the fact that I had
Mm,
even prepared myself to bring
mm,
all that stuff to be outside the pack. I was like,
mm,
well, you know what? At least when push came to shove,
mm.
I was there to change my ways.
Yeah.
And
Well, it also
you know,
sounds like, sorry, you continue.
I was going to say just approaching things with empty glass, coming in with
Cool.
your cup empty so you can receive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I was what that made me think of is like I love that you saw that in yourself. It also makes me think of how like your intention to bring that grill and that meat is not a bad one. It was one of you trying to take care of yourself the way that you feel your body's taken care of. And
Uh-huh.
not only that, but being like, here are the lengths I am willing to go to make sure I'm taken care of, to make sure that my body feels good and like what I'm doing feels good. And so, like, I think that that's like a super loving part of you that wanted to bring that stuff there. But then that same loving part of you was like, oh, dude, the connection is what I'm here for. The
Uh-huh.
connection is what I'm here for. And sometimes when it comes to like groups or experiences, there are like, oh, what's it called? There's this really cool book, but it's called like Club Goods. I think it's Dopamine Nation. Really good book. But she talks
Uh-huh.
about club goods. Like when you're a part of a club or a community, you do give up personal preferences. Like sometimes you don't wear what you want to wear because you wear, the uniform or whatever. But it's because what you receive from it is so much better and greater than what you have to give up from yourself. And
Absolutely.
that just reminds me of that. That's super cool.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send me a link so I can check that book out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Great book. Super cool. Super, super cool. Um, but yeah, dog, that makes me really excited. It also makes me very excited for this Oregon reset that's coming up. And I just love jumping into these experiences, like knowing a bit of what's going on, but also like nothing basically about what to expect or some of the people that we're going to meet there, or
Okay.
what the land's going to be like, or what the itinerary is going to be like. Um, yeah, I'm just super stoked about it. Um, what is it? What is it that you're like motivated by to come to Oregon? Like, what are some of the things that excite you about it?
Well, like coming from sports background and always having a team of people around me,
Mm,
um,
mm,
not having that in my immediate life for a while was like, oh, I yearn for this. Now I actually
yeah.
have that team of people in my massage cohort.
Mm,
But this is like a different team of people.
yeah.
Um, and I love meeting up with my team.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is a moment that I can't pass.
Yeah.
Um, like I'm taking a day or two away from school to make this
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Club good.
and when we were in Tahoe to like wake up with everyone
Mm,
willing to go out and do a movement practice together, cold
mm-hmm.
plunge in the lake, like that
Yeah.
community and that camaraderie, that teamwork together is like so powerful and stays with me. It like gives me
Mm-hmm.
this energy and like this vibe that I bring home and hold on to like for months. Like when
Yeah.
I came home from
Yeah.
Tahoe, like all of that energy that we had there, like that came home with me and stayed with me for a while. And
Yeah.
now Oregon, I'm like, opportunity to do the same thing. And then you
Yeah.
hear Bam tell a story like, these are my stomping grounds. This is
Mm-hmm.
where my first, awareness into spiral movement
Mm-hmm.
stems from, and
Yeah.
his mentor Andre. And I'm like,
Shit.
I get to go meet this guy. I get to go be in this space with Bam. Like,
Dude,
I
it
get to
feels like
go
we're going to
hear.
Mordor.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I get to go hear more stories and gain more knowledge and embrace
Mm-hmm.
more of this teamwork together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, yeah, this is like sets the stage for how the next 6 months of my life is going to go, because I do bring home that energy, and I bring home everything that I know we're going to be doing there for the better, and
Yeah.
bring that and share that with my, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the people in my cohort at massage therapy. I'm going to be able to bring this to them too. So it's
Yeah.
just like, it's so exciting and so many different avenues of life.
Dude, so dope. I get the exact same feeling. I had the same thing coming back from Florida. And one of my coworkers, I came back on the first day. He's like, dude, you are relaxed. And I was just like, yeah, I am. Something about it is just like so settled. And yeah, I find so many like truths when I'm in that space. It's just like, I love being around these people. I love waking up and moving first thing, and being outside and like engaging with the earth and with the wind and the air and the sun. And it's, yeah, and it stays with us. It changes us permanently and for like in really good ways, in ways that feel
Mhm.
super healthy. And, yeah, it just feels like that, dude. It just feels like, oh, I'm gonna just go get an upgrade real quick. I'm just go hit up Oregon and just get my shit tuned up. And and yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. Super looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not often that you get to be around a group of like-minded people, um, but who are all like on their own path. Like, usually when you're in that
Mm,
group of like-minded people, you're on the same team. Like, I like to think,
mm,
like, I'm so
mm-hmm.
sports biased. I'm so like always in this
Yeah,
area of teamwork. But
yeah,
usually when you're thinking of a team, like,
mm,
we all have the same goal. We're all trying to defeat this other team, or,
mm,
achieve this
mm,
championship or whatever. But like, we're all on this team with all of our own individual goals,
yeah,
and all of our
yeah,
own paths, and our own
mm,
challenges and opponents, if you
mm,
will.
mm,
And so, to learn from other people who do have this different opponent, like, I can learn a lot from a teammate who played in the same game that I just played in, but I can
yeah,
learn even more from a teammate that's gone off and played these other teams that I haven't seen yet.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm
Facts.
getting the the photo roll. Like, I'm getting the game roll of all these games that I
Yeah.
haven't played yet, that are all ahead of me, or maybe
Dang.
we're behind me and I can look back at. So it's like, we're in
Yeah.
this team that's like super elevated.
It
It's
is,
really
dude.
cool.
That's such a neat perspective, like the nature of these kinds of get-togethers because yeah, we are all on our own paths. It's almost like a round table kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where like each of us being leaders in our own life and our own path, living our own journey, our own story, and we all meet up together and be like, what's going on? What are the wins? What are the challenges? What are the insights? What are the values? Let's share that with each other. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy each other and make connections. And then the time comes to an end. We go, all right, back to my story. And then we head
Yeah.
back. Then we go implement.
Yeah.
Dude, good feeling. So much good stuff. Man.
Yeah, and it's just like
Yeah.
you said, it's an upgrade to re-enter your story with like just a, a stronger toolkit, you know?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I'm getting up leveled and I'm being strengthened um, with these time with the time together with the coaches, and especially
Yeah,
the mentors.
for
Um,
sure.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
powerful stuff that I don't think that is offered anywhere else in life.
I haven't found really anything like this before. And like the only actually the like a couple of the places that really stick out to me, and I think it's I mean, maybe for an obvious reason, is like the two jujitsu gyms I've been to, and this
Hmm.
like this understanding of how everything relates with each other, how the practice of jujitsu is can be an analogy for your relationship or your business or your work or your health, any of these things. And just like a really based, strong leadership from the two gym owners or leaders that I've been with. And obviously Bam being from a martial arts background, brings that martial arts mindset to our training and to the way that he leads us. And then, Jameson and Carly both very much embody that, and they create a really great big space for that kind of leadership, this holistic leadership. And dude, I'll be damned if I find anything like that. I mean, like, bring on more of it. But I'm so stoked about what we got here, and it's so cool seeing other people step into their own. It's really awesome.
Couldn't agree more, dude. I'm super excited for it. 2 weeks.
2 weeks out.
Right? 2 weeks out. Yep.
A little bit less even.
A
little bit less. Yeah.
Time's
We're almost
flying,
there.
Dude. All right.
Time is flying, dog. Time is flying. Oh, this could be totally off topic, but one thing I did want to inquire with you about was, I have a feeling that you were interested in some of this stuff too, is like working with your breath, or like managing your breath or strengthening your breath. What's been your experience with that? What kinds of things have you found along the way?
I love breath work that can help calm your nervous system. Once again, it goes back to golf. I think you can even hear some of the biggest guys on tour. I think I heard a comment the other day, Scotty Scheffler, he's so good because his breath work is so good when he's got that, clutch putt to win a tournament. He's able to take that calming breath, stay in the moment, relax the nerves. And it's the guys who struggle to get it done. They're the ones who can't control their breathing, can't control the nerves. So it's like, dude, if you can really hone in with your breath to really dictate your nervous system, that's going to have just the effect that can have on your body is you can't beat it. That's a skill set that any human should have, whether you're a golfer or an athlete. I mean, there's, if you're a person who's getting angry sitting in traffic, you might want to work on your breath.
Dude, facts. And it's actually like super common.
Yeah.
Super common. And I don't remember when it was, but I've never really had like an overt amount of road rage. Like sometimes I would, but I remember like a point in my life where the flip just switched, and I just never, I just haven't been mad at anyone on the road ever since. Even if what they're doing is completely obscene. It's just like, why am I getting mad? What am I getting mad for? Like, it's not going to undo what they just did. I may as well just chill, and we're all okay. What do you have any like particular ways of like working or playing with the breath that you like to practice? Is it more of like a free flow? How do you like to...
Sometimes I do the counting, but it ends up being more of a free flow. You can count. Sometimes, like, I like to do different types of blocks. You can inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds. And then you can do like the really relaxing one that I find is inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6 or 7, hold 2. And then it's just that really nice. And then after, like counting it 3 or 4 times, then it's really just the breath leading me. I feel like sometimes I do like a longer, slower inhale. Other times it's kind of a quick, easy, not even fully deep inhale, but just a really long, exaggerated exhale. So sometimes I do what feels good. Sometimes I do purposely like, hey, let's block it out 4-4-4s and kind of just do it with whatever feels good or the moment I'm in.
Okay, so it doesn't you compare that with whatever you're doing, whether it's decompression or whether you're on the range, maybe. You just kind of bust it out whenever. Yeah. I like that too. It's kind of like the meditation mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can meditate anywhere, at any time, at any moment. As long as you've practiced it and you kind of understand it, then you can apply that in any moment. I find that super helpful whenever I feel like nervous about anything. Like tap into the breath, consciously choose to control it. Brings everything down. It's really wild. It's
Yeah, I
really
mean,
wild
speaking
we
of
can't
driving,
control it.
I do breath work while I drive like all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing where you're
Yeah.
holding your breath or like,
Right.
where it's
Max breath
dangerous.
hold.
Right.
Yeah.
No, not doing that. But I am like being very conscious of my breath while I drive and maybe even doing some footwork. But
Mhm.
yeah, trying to take
Mhm.
advantage because once again, like being in Santa Cruz, a lot of like if I go to school and whatnot, I am driving over that hill that we spoke about. That can be upwards
Yeah.
of a 50-minute drive. So
Oh yeah.
I want to utilize some of that time to my benefit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's such a good time to uh to take care of yourself is when you're in the car.
Yeah.
Whether it's the breath work, meditation, eyes open meditation. Um, yeah, throw it in cruise control and get a little foot knuckles going.
Hmm.
Perfect time. Um, like maybe illegal, but I've definitely thrown it in cruise control and hit a crisscross before, and that was a vibe. But you gotta choose your roads and your moments very wisely.
Yeah.
And but it feels good. I've been on some long drives, and sometimes I just need to crouch or something, and
Oh, I've
we just gotta
definitely
get a
done
little
that on
funky.
a super
Yeah.
long drive, like
Oh yeah, dog.
like I'm talking like I-5, just dead straight road, like
Oh
there's
hell
not a
yeah.
turn in sight.
Yeah,
I'll throw
yeah.
the feet up onto the seat and scoot
The
back a
feel.
little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Stick my shit out the window. Fucking
That's
yeah,
definitely happened.
all sorts of stuff. Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it, dude. Little cheeky moments. Oh, that's
Oh, that's
great.
funny.
Yeah, dog. What do you got looking forward to this week, man? What are some moments that you wake up in the morning and you're like, I got this coming up. I'm fucking with that.
I'm really enjoying my externship right now in that
Mm.
massage world.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
work with, people off the streets and the clinic I'm in, it's Santa Cruz Cord and Rehab, so they're
Cool.
more clinic based. There's a physical therapist, a chiropractor, that, it's very, very clinical based. And with that
Mm-hmm.
being said, some of the clients that I get, they are looking to address particular areas of their body. And as much
Mm-hmm.
as the movement coach inside of me wants to be like, dude, check this out, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't in that environment. So
Interesting.
instead, I use my touch um,
Yeah.
to figure out how can I best um, work with this person for 50 minutes or 80 minutes, whatever we have,
Yeah.
to make them come out of that session feeling rejuvenated, feeling
Mm.
better than when they came in, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
that to me is like it's a challenge,
Yeah.
and every person's body is different. So I can think about, oh, if I got a neck or shoulder problem, here's my approach. If I got a knee problem, here's my approach. If I got a low
Mm.
back thing, like here's my approach. But
Mm-hmm.
that general approach is gonna have to be modified, tweaked,
Yeah.
and or completely just done differently for different bodies. So it's fun for me to come into that as a newer therapist and try and figure out that puzzle. And
Yeah.
in my mind, dude, sometimes like I'll be working on a client for massage therapy, and I'm just thinking like, oh gosh, I just wish I could teach
I
this
wish.
person how
Some
to get
deep
on the
hum.
ground and find their
Yeah.
backside. And I'm like, just people
Yeah.
will tell me too, oh, I was doing X, Y, and Z. And so, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited that with that being said, I am excited also for when I do get my license where I can actually put myself in a position where not only can I help someone with my touch, but bring the
Yeah.
movement coaching into it as well. So my own
Yeah,
personal private business should be coming into play here in the next
dude.
coming years.
So exciting.
Yeah.
How as you had mentioned, like while you're at the school, you got people looking up to you because you have prior experience and knowledge. Do you get opportunities to share the movement stuff in the school environment? Are they open to
All the
talking about
time.
that? It's a holistic school, correct?
Yeah. All the time.
Sweet.
Dude, when I came into that class, I was so excited because with it being a school, I was
Mm-hmm.
worried about desks and sitting. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go to school and sit for 8 hours. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Man, I got in there and I was like, oh, these are my people. The massage therapists. We're all sitting on the floor.
Yeah, that's what's up.
During the Eastern segment, we work on a mat. So we're just on
Yeah.
the mat on the floor doing shiatsu. So it's like, yeah, like already had people getting on the floor. Everyone's,
Dope.
doing the ground game. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, people asking, what do you do? Oh, I do movement coaching. Show me. So several of my classmates have gotten into their back chain. I've showed them.
Hmm.
Every
Hmm.
once in a blue moon come to me like, hey, dude, like help me with my hip real quick. And
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get people into some spots, and I bring a yoga block, and I bring a band, a booty band to class
Oh
all the
yeah.
time.
Put them on it.
And
Yeah.
dude, like we have the way the school works is every 6 months, there's a new cohort that comes in. So my first six
Mm.
months in the Eastern segment, I was a junior,
Yeah.
and my seniors just graduated, a month and a half ago. So
Yeah.
we have new juniors that came in. While I was helping one of the seniors, who's a senior with me,
Yeah.
go through some back chain work, and one of the juniors jumped up, and he's like
Hmm.
holding onto the wall, and he's like, oh wow, oh what are you guys
Yeah.
doing? And he's like
Yeah.
wobbling around, and he's like, oh yeah, I really feel my butt. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
that's the sauce. And I'm like,
That's
he
it.
just came in and started joining us. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, like we have our little multiple 10-minute breaks throughout the day. And yeah, dude, I get
Mhm.
people moving. I get people into their back chain, and
That's so awesome,
um,
dog.
it's super fun to share. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're around people who like you don't even need to like talk to them about it, they just get up and start doing it with you. It's like,
Oh, it made me so happy.
yeah, this is the
Yeah.
vibe. This is the energy. This is the
Yeah.
open mind that we want to be around.
Yeah.
100%. Damn, that's cool, man. So what else do you have to look forward to in the rest of your schooling? What's left?
Um, I'm working through deep tissue right now. So we're
Hmm.
learning,
You said Swedish massage?
Swedish and deep tissue are
Yeah.
commonly put together, but they are two different things.
Okay.
Um, but I finished Swedish, or I've finished what I'll be taught for Swedish.
Hmm.
We've moved into deep tissue, and next is going to be sports massage, and then
Okay.
some spa, hot stone type modalities, and then
Hmm.
pretty much wrapping it up from there. There might be a
Cool,
little
man.
bit more myofascial therapy, but the myofascial therapy is blended in with that deep tissue and sports massage work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I feel like that is mostly what people are aware of, what people are requesting when they come
Hmm.
in for a massage. So I am right now currently learning what I will more than likely be doing for the rest of my career. So that is
That's
super
sweet.
exciting. And
Yeah.
like I said, I did that Eastern segment before the Western. So I've already learned the shiatsu and the Thai massage, which is a lot of like manipulating the body through ranges of motion and stretches and
Yeah. Okay.
compressions. So now I get to
Okay.
take all of that knowledge and combine it with these new techniques. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
we could just say that, everything's starting to come together at this point.
Cool.
So it's
Okay.
everything's coming together. I'm learning what I'm going to be doing for the majority of
Hmm.
my massage
Hmm.
career, and um, I'm also acknowledging and kind of coming to terms with the fact that I am almost coming to an end
Mm.
with the group of people that have become, my team for this
Yeah.
current time. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, let's get the most out of this. It's not going to be here forever. I am going to be, going
Hmm.
into the world of working as a therapist and not being a student anymore. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
all of that is
Dude.
scary. It's exciting. It's fun. It's nerve wracking.
Hmm.
It's growth.
I'm excited for you, man. It's cool because you get experienced in all these different modalities, and then
Hmm.
you get to combine or refine it into like Steven's practice.
Yeah.
And like when you engage with someone's body and you're seeing what it's telling you, you can pull from all these different experiences and say like, this is what Steven does right here.
Hmm.
And then yeah, pulling into the movement coaching too, that being a part of it, you know, holistically integrating all of it, being like, we can have this massage therapy moment that contributes to the body. Here are these other things that you can do in your own time to help yourself.
Hmm.
Very exciting.
And what's super cool is like I think I tried to mention this earlier. I don't know if it came
Mm.
across all the way. Um, someone told me the other day, they're like, "Oh, you're the guy that like speaks faster than he can think." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so true." I,
Who said that? Oh,
uh,
you're the guy? You get
oh yeah,
recognized on the
me.
street?
I speak faster than I can think. Um,
Whoa.
so so yeah. With that being said, a lot of people think with a massage therapist, the therapist themselves is the thing or the person dictating or manipulating tissue, which is
Mm,
not true. A
mm,
therapist can touch you so your body can recognize where something is and how it feels, and that the
mm,
client's body is doing all the work. The
mm,
therapist is just giving the touch so the
mm,
client's body can make the change. The
mm,
therapist does not make changes. The therapist
mm.
doesn't fix, the therapist doesn't make changes. The therapist puts an educated pressure or whatever so
Like
the
a
client can heal
stimulus.
themselves. It's the same
Mm,
thing with the movement practice. I'm
mm.
not I'm not fixing you. I'm not giving you anything. I'm giving you the knowledge for you to then fix yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Damn. Yeah.
Like it's not just rockers, it's
100%.
how we do the rockers, right? So
Absolutely.
I don't just give you rockers and you're fixed. Like we
Yeah.
got to go through and make sure
Mhm,
that it's being done properly, and then that's all on that client to make that neurological patterning happen and to repeat it
mhm,
and to make it
mhm, mhm,
habit and eventually not have to think about it and it's there, right?
mhm. Yes.
It's
The
super
body engages
cool.
with the rockers.
Yeah, it's super cool how similar it is being a massage therapist and a movement coach. It's
Yeah.
crazy similar.
It's sweet, dude. I love those I guess they're like synchronicities, when you go through different modalities or different experiences and then you start to see the same patterns showing up.
Yeah.
Whether it's different like body modalities, or I even experienced this testing out the construction world for a little bit, and like the order of operations and the processes, building a foundation. We always talk about that in the movement world, and what that means and looks like, and also like lines of communication. Like, how effective are they? How clear are they? Does it get the message across? Oftentimes, if the communication is super lacking, then something chaotic comes out the other side, or the problem gets deferred into the future somewhere else. And I just love seeing those similarities show up, and it's just like the world screaming at us, like, "Here's the way I work. Here's
Yeah.
the way I work. Pay attention."
I mean, yeah, dude, without good communication, the result's not going to be the intended result more often than
Hmm.
not.
Yeah,
The game
yeah,
of telephone shows us that, right?
yeah. 100%. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, and then misunderstandings or not enough information, but feeling pressured to make a move and then doing something without all the proper resources, and you know, you could go on and on about the different things that happen in that world. But yeah, man, seeing the connectivity through it all, I think that's the real sauce for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah, and that's big time what primal movement has given me in a lot of ways, is like being able to learn to see the connectivity between all these things, the patterns that show up.
Yeah,
It's super
I agree.
special.
Very
Mm.
similar experience for myself, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And yeah, what do you think, man? I think this feels like kind of a nice spot to wrap up. We are verging on an hour 45,
That went by
and we
quick, man.
it went by super quick,
Yeah.
and we covered a lot of cool topics. And yeah, I'm glad I got to spend some like dedicated time here, seeing into your world, being able to record it and share it with people, so that way they can see into your world. And yeah, it's been so much fun, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me on, and I did have a lot of fun. And I just want to say I appreciate you. I've seen you grow, and since 2023 of January during our cert, I've watched you grow and overcome self doubts, and
Mhm.
I think that you are a super super special individual and you're
Damn, bro.
freaking hilarious and I love your content. But at the
Thank you,
same
my man.
time, you're so resourceful and have so much wisdom for
Shit.
such a young person. And I just really appreciate you going down your path and being as successful as you have been on your own journey. I think that you are a perfect example of what it means to be successful, like within yourself.
Damn,
So
dude. What?
yeah, I love you.
Wow, I love you
Yeah,
too, bro. That is like top 5 compliments I've ever had, for real.
cool.
That just hit me in a special place, and
Very cool.
yeah, thank you for sharing all that with me. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to grow alongside you, to see you leading in your own life. And yeah, just this, like, no breaks, man. Just full love. Everything that you're doing is in service of something really great and beautiful. And you're just integrating it all, making it your whole life, man. It's really inspiring. And yeah, man, I love having friends like you, where it's like that friend is like a novel that I get to read for a long time and then see how that story develops. And it's
Mhm.
just such a privilege. So thank you so much for those beautiful words, Stephen. I've had such a great time connecting with you. I look forward to seeing you in Oregon. That's
Yes,
going to be
sir.
super dope. And we'll go make some memories there, man. That sounds
Dude,
like a
we
great
will.
time.
We will.
Yeah, dog. Thanks for spending the time here with me, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. And you're welcome. And thank you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Tight, dog. Tight.
All right.